I'm 19, standing in my family's kitchen, my father's voice booming, "You'll never make it without a man to provide for you." My hands shook, my heart sank, but deep inside, a fire sparked. 10 years later, I didn't just prove him wrong, I left everyone who doubted me speechless. Want to know how I turned their mockery into my victory? Stick around, because this story will leave you cheering. Hello, everyone. My name is Sarah, and I'm from a small town in Ohio. I'm a business owner now, but my journey wasn't easy. Today, I'm sharing my real-life story of fighting for independence against all odds. If you've ever felt underestimated or disrespected, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's dive into a story that might just inspire you to chase your own victory. Let's begin. I grew up in a house where the rules were clear. Men made the money, and women waited. My father, a burly man with a voice like gravel, ran a construction business. He'd come home, dust-covered boots thudding on the hardwood, and drop a wad of cash on the kitchen table. My mother, apron tied tight, would nod and smile, never questioning. That was her role, his shadow, his support. My older brother, Tom, was being groomed to take over the family business, his chest puffed out like he was already king. Me? I was the afterthought, the girl who didn't need to worry about money, because, as Dad always said, a good husband will take care of you. But I didn't want to wait. I didn't want a life of nodding and smiling while someone else decided my worth. At 17, I started dreaming of independence. I'd lie awake at night, the hum of the old radiator filling the silence, imagining a life where I called the shots. My hands would clench the edges of my blanket, my stomach twisting with a mix of fear and determination. I wasn't going to be another woman in my family who waited. By 19, I was ready to act. I started small, tutoring kids after school, waitressing at a greasy diner, even typing up data entry jobs late into the night. My fingers would ache from the keyboard, my feet throbbing from hours on the diner floor, but every dollar I saved felt like a brick in the foundation of my freedom. I hid my earnings in a shoebox under my bed, counting the bills in the dark like a secret ritual. Each one whispered, "You're closer." My father was the loudest voice against me. "What's the point, Sarah?" He'd scoff, leaning back in his recliner, a beer in hand. "You're not built for the real world. Stick to what women do best." His words stung like a slap, but they weren't the worst. My brother Tom was worse. He'd smirk, his blue eyes glinting with superiority, and say things like, "You're wasting your time, sis. You'll burn out and come crawling back." He'd laugh with his buddies, calling me the dreamer, like it was an insult. Once, at a family dinner, he leaned across the table, his voice dripping with mockery, and said, "You're still playing at your little jobs? Cute. When you're ready to grow up, I'll hire you to clean the office." The humiliation burned. My cheeks flushed, my throat tightened, and I could feel every pair of eyes at the table, my parents, my aunts, my cousins, waiting for me to shrink. I wanted to scream, to throw my plate at him, but I just gripped my fork until my knuckles turned white. Inside, my thoughts roared, "I'll show you. I'll show all of you." For years, I swallowed their doubts. I worked harder, took on more jobs. By 22, I was juggling 3 gigs, tutoring, waitressing, and freelancing as a graphic designer. My eyes stung from staring at my ancient laptop screen, my body ached from running between shifts, but I was saving. Slowly, my shoebox grew heavier. $500, then $1,000, then $5,000. I'd sit cross-legged on my bedroom floor, counting it under the glow of a single lamp, my heart racing with possibility. But the more I pushed, the worse Tom got. He'd started working for Dad's company, and his ego swelled with every promotion. He'd come over for Sunday dinners, tossing his car keys on the counter like a trophy, bragging about his new truck or his latest bonus. "You still scraping by, Sarah?" he'd ask, his tone laced with pity and amusement. Once, he saw me sketching a logo for a client and snorted. "You think that artsy stuff's gonna get you anywhere? You're delusional." My father nodded in agreement, muttering, "She'll learn." The breaking point came when I was 25. I'd saved enough to enroll in a part-time business course at the local community college. I was proud of the late nights, the skipped meals, the sheer grit it took to get there. I told my family at dinner, expecting something. Support, a nod, anything. Instead, Tom laughed so hard he nearly choked on his beer. "Business school?" he said, wiping his eyes. You're gonna end up in debt and back at the diner. Stick to what you know, sis." My father didn't laugh, but he didn't defend me either. He just shook his head and said, "Waste of money." I left the table that night, my vision blurred with tears, my chest tight with rage. In my room, I paced, my hands shaking. Their voices echoed in my head, mocking, belittling. But something shifted. The pain turned to fire. I wasn't just going to prove them wrong, I was going to make them regret every word. That night, I made a promise to myself. I stood in front of my cracked bedroom mirror, my reflection lit by the dim glow of a street lamp outside. My jaw was set, my eyes burning. "I'm done," I whispered. "I'm done letting 'em define me." I wasn't just chasing independence anymore, I was chasing victory. I wanted them to see me succeed, to feel the weight of their wrongness. I wanted to stand tall and watch their smug faces fall. The plan took shape over the next 4 years. I threw myself into my studies, my business courses, while still working multiple jobs. My days were a blur of coffee, deadlines, and determination. I'd wake up at 5 a.m., my eyes gritty, and study until my shift at the diner. At night, I'd design logos, build websites, anything to grow my freelance portfolio. My body screamed for rest, but my mind was relentless. Keep going. Make it happen. By 27, I had enough savings and skills to take a leap. I quit waitressing and launched my own graphic design business. It was small at first, a one-woman operation run from my tiny apartment. I worked 16-hour days, pitching to clients, refining my craft. My hands trembled as I sent my first big proposal, my heart pounding with the fear of rejection. But the clients came, slowly, then all at once. A local bakery, a startup, a chain of coffee shops. My portfolio grew, my reputation spread, and by 29, I was making more than Tom's salary at Dad's company. The real turning point came when I landed a contract with a major regional retailer. They wanted a full rebrand, logos, ads, website, the works. It was a 6-figure deal. I remember signing the contract, my pen shaking, my breath catching. This was it, the moment I'd been building toward. I used the advance to buy my first car, a sleek, silver sedan, paid for in cash. I drove it home, the leather seats cool under my hands, the engine humming with a power that felt like mine. It wasn't just a car. It was a symbol. I'd done it, on my own. The payoff came at a family reunion when I was 29. The backyard was packed with relatives, the air thick with barbecue smoke and laughter. Tom was there, as usual, holding court with his buddies, his new truck parked ostentatiously in the driveway. I pulled up in my car, the silver gleaming under the sun. Heads turned, whispers started. I stepped out, my chin high, my sundress swaying, and I could feel the weight of every stare. Tom noticed first. His smirk faltered as he saw the car. "Nice ride," he said, his tone probing, suspicious. "Who'd you borrow it from?" I smiled, slow and deliberate, and tossed my keys in my hand. "Didn't borrow it, bought it, cash." His jaw tightened, his eyes narrowing. I could see the gears turning, the disbelief, the resentment. Then came the bombshell. My cousin, who worked in marketing, had heard about my rebranding deal. She raised a glass and said, loud enough for everyone to hear, to Sarah, who's killing it with her business. "That big retailer contract? Huge." The crowd murmured, impressed. My father's fork froze halfway to his mouth. Tom's face went red, his knuckles white around his beer bottle. I didn't say a word. I didn't need to. Their silence was louder than any apology. Later, Tom cornered me by the dessert table. "How'd you pull that off?" he asked, his voice low, almost accusing. I looked him dead in the eye. "Hard work. You should try it sometime." His mouth opened, then closed. For the first time, he had nothing to say. I walked away, my heart soaring, my steps light. I'd won. Looking back, that moment wasn't just about the car or the contract. It was about reclaiming my power. I'd spent years feeling small, underestimated, powerless. But I learned something. Justice isn't always loud or dramatic. Sometimes, it's quiet. It's the look on their faces when they realize they were wrong. It's the peace in your heart when you know you've earned your place. If I can do it, so can you. Keep pushing, keep fighting, and never let anyone tell you what you're worth. If this story gave you chills or fired you up, smash that like button and let me know in the comments. What's the most satisfying moment of justice you've ever witnessed? Or maybe you've got your own story of proving the doubters wrong. Share it. I read every comment, and I'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a story like this. Thank you for watching.